So I bought this fast charger probably about a year ago. It looks like November 13th of 2024. And I thought that it was going to be able to run all of my Raspberry Pis. So I have three Raspberry Pis that are Raspberry Pi 5s, and I have a Raspberry 4B that I've had for a while. And I was just going to try to run all of them. And so when I started organizing my closet and getting all my stuff together for my IT gear and fixing my tool chest back there, I figured I'd just connect everything that I could, so that way I wouldn't have to worry about you know, organizing them because they'd already be there and I could give me an excuse to build my lab. So I was running a Raspberry Pi. I was running a Raspberry Pi, three of the Raspberry Pi 5s, and then one of the Raspberry Pi 4s using this right here, this station. And I assumed that that was going to work for me because I saw the 200 watts, which is a little bit deceptive. I should have known better. I have about a 10-year background with electronics maintenance when I was in the military. And it says that the output is going to be 3 amps for every single one of them, right? So I thought 3 amps would be fine because it was a Raspberry Pi. You think that Raspberry Pis, they just kind of sip power, but they really don't if you're looking at it from the perspective of one of these. So Raspberry Pi has a higher performance computer than a Raspberry Pi 4, so you need a 5 amp power supply, so 5 volt, 5 amps. So I had the 5 volt supply, but I didn't have the 5 amps. And then if you go over here, it's the Raspberry Pi 4 because it does say that it has a higher performance, but with the Raspberry Pi 4, it also recommends a minimum of 3 amps. And then it also says a good quality 2.5 amp power supply can be used if downstream USB peripherals consume less than 500 milliamps in total. I also had two wired devices connected. One was a mouse and the other one was a keyboard, and the keyboard had some LED lights on it, so I think that caused problems too. But the most important thing to bring up here is that, the thing that I was surprised of the most is that SSH wasn't working for me. Every time I tried to SSH into the devices, when after I reinstalled everything a couple times and tried to access them, it wasn't working for me, and I couldn't figure out why. And so I figured, well, let me try to go ahead and replace the power that power supply, that fast charger, with some actual USB-Cs that plug into actual chargers, and it worked perfectly. So now I can SSH into all my devices, which is what I really wanted. The most surprising thing that I found in this whole situation is that SSH in itself can be a layer 1 issue, not when it comes to your cable not being connected, because that could be the layer 1 issue, but when it comes to power. So make sure that when you're setting up these Raspberry Pis, Raspberry Pi 5s and 4s, make sure you're setting those up in a way that you have identified the correct amount of power, especially if you're going to try to do things like AI and other stuff that's going to pull a lot of power off of those Raspberry Pis. Anyway, I thought I'd just share that. Thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to making more.